I've been fighting my whole life. I've been fighting for myself. I've been fighting for the people I love. I've been fighting for what I believe in, what I stand for. I have fought against injustice. I have fought against sexism. I have fought against racism. I have fought against homophobia. I've spent my entire life fighting something, someone, or something just to have room to breathe, just to have a voice or have a say or to stand up for myself. And I realized that fighting has helped me. It's helped me stay alive. It's helped me progress. It's helped me be successful. But fighting has also exhausted me. It's burnt me down. It's brought me to my knees. And as we live through this historical moment, as we live through everything from Haiti to Afghanistan, from police reform to police murders. I mean, from sex trafficking to climate change, everything that we're living through, I end up feeling overwhelmed by how much I have to fight just to get out of bed. And so I've been looking for solutions. And y'all know how I roll. I go, look, I'm taking pages from everybody's playbook that works. And I have something I think that may help. And I want to share it with you. Hello, I'm Dr. Venus, your Hot Mess Millionaire. And I want to talk to you today about maybe we're doing it all wrong. Maybe we are. Maybe all the fighting only begets more fighting, right? And I'm like, okay, God, if I don't fight, then what do I do? Do I just let life take me asunder? What do I do if I don't fight, right? I've been looking at some players and I've got some ideas. But before I go all the way in, please make sure you subscribe to the Hot Mess Millionaire podcast. Please make sure to stay in touch with me. Please make sure you fill out the link for my app interest at the top of these notes. Please do that. Please also make sure you that you share this broadcast. Sharing is an act of love. It really is. And it's clearly I'm saying too much because I'm being banned on every platform practically. That's okay. That's why I'm building my own. God is faithful. But now they won't let people come to my pages. They won't let me do lives on Facebook. So I have to pre-record, and that's not bad, okay? But that's not going to stop me, okay? Because I have a commitment to you, sis. And I feel the same way. In my spirit, I feel the way that Dr. King must have felt when they said we couldn't, we had to sit in the back of the bus. Like, no, we're not doing that, okay? We're just going to keep moving forward, and we'll do it in a way that works. So please push this word out because they won't let me. Which means I must be doing something right. So I need your partnership in literally sharing my content. I can no longer, and it's not like nothing bad. They just won't let it work. Each time I try to do a live, they won't let it go live. They won't let it go live. And that's their right. They have that platform. You see what I'm saying? And that's just God helping me understand it's time for us to really align and get my digital platform up so we can birth other platforms that are owned by us for us. Okay? Now, back to the content. Girl, the world is weighing me down, okay? I'm like, oh, God. If I hear about one more hurricane or one more variation on the COVID virus or one more Karen doing some cray-cray with some black body, I'm just ready to throw myself into the lake, And so, given who I am, and y'all know how I roll, I believe in personal development. I believe in personal growth. I believe that you are your first client. You want to be the kind of client you want to attract. You want to be the kind of love you want to attract. You want to be the kind of person you want to attract. So that means you got to put time in. You got to put your work into yourself. So I'm putting the work into myself. And one of the things that I do is I take personal development classes. I'm here for it. I read the books. I listen to the audios. I am here for it, girl. And I mean that. So I've been really, this past summer, I took one class a few weeks ago, and I did another class this week. The first one was all about putting the past in the past, okay? which gave me a lot of freedom in order to allow myself to be loved by a black man. And me and my gentleman suitor, we're moving forward. If something's happening, something's happening, something's happening, I will keep you posted as soon as I figure out what the hell is going on in a good way. And so that me putting that past in the past made room for me to allow myself to be loved. Okay, but now I'm really looking at what's the future that wants me. What I want to use my life for. I'll be 50 in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? And and I plan on being fabulous in my 50s, right? But what I'm really contending with is what kind of legacy do I want to leave, right? What kind of life do I want to live? I'm accomplished. I fought for it, okay? But now I'm tired of fighting. Don't you get tired of fighting? Don't you get tired of fighting? I know I do. I'm like, God, my people have been fighting since we got here, even before we got here, right? And so I've been looking, okay, God, what do I want to bring to the party? So the future, the possibility, who I am is a possibility, okay, for the world is loving leadership, support, and empowering partnership. I love that. It feels good. It's everything that I'm about. And it covers all bases, right? When I show up, loving leadership shows up. When I show up, support shows up. When I show up, empowering partnership shows up. And that leaves me in an empowered space, okay? And so because I'm in that empowered space, I'm really looking at how can I make the difference that God has kept me alive for? And how can I do it in such a way that doesn't burn me out or have me feel so despondent I don't want to get out of bed because life is just too heavy, right? And so what I do is I did what I always do. I go look at the greats and I look at what the hell did the greats do to actually affect change, to have the world work better than it did before. Einstein has this quote that says, we cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. I'm with that. I'm here for that on a real level, okay? And so I'm like, all right, God, well, how do we do this? So I started looking at people that I admire. I admire Gandhi. You know, this brother said to the British, look, dude, I know you mean well, but deuces, you got to go. You need to leave, and you need to leave now. And they were like, dude, we're not doing it. He said, oh, but you will. Okay. And in my resources, there's a clip from the movie. It's only like 3 minutes. Girl, you got to look at it. It is so powerful because he's not fighting them. He's not fighting. He's like, no, this is what we're doing. We're not doing that anymore. And this is what we're going to do going forward. And 47 years later, they walked up out of India. They walked out. It wasn't fighting. They left. And I'm like, okay, God, what the hell happened here? What did Gandhi do that I'm not doing? Because he had them walk out. Now, granted, it took him 47 years. Okay. But the thing but his whole approach wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting. He was not fighting. I'm like, okay, what the hell was he doing that worked? I looked over to Dr. King and the Montgomery boycott, the boycott in Montgomery, Alabama. And Rosa sat down. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't fighting. I'm like, okay, y'all, look. Rosa sat down and then they marched. But they weren't fighting. They weren't doing what I'm doing. They're not doing all the extra energy, the blah, 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 the frustration, the anger, the angry fist to the gods kind of thing, right? They weren't doing none of that. Okay? Thoreau, he's a philosopher. He got thrown in jail for not paying taxes. He's like, I'm not doing it. Y'all can throw me in jail if you need to, but I ain't gonna do it. He didn't fight them. He wasn't fighting. And I'm like, okay, look, what is going on that the major avatars, the major teachers of this time period, of this century really, okay? I'm not even going back to Jesus. I'm going back to just the 20th century, right? What did they do that I'm not doing? And this is what I realized, my friend. This is what I understood. This is what I saw. They're not fighting. They're standing. That was preach, God. That was so sweet. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. They were not, Dr. King wasn't fighting. He was standing for something. And there were actors that went with it, but he was standing for something. There was no ugly. He was standing for something. Thoreau went to jail on a principle. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. He says the best kind of governments are the ones who do the least governing. He wasn't playing with us, okay? But he didn't fight. He stood, okay? And he did it in a way the same way that Gandhi did. Gandhi didn't fight them. He didn't get ugly with them. He said, look, there's no way that 100,000 British soldiers are going to be able to dominate, contain, control over 3.3 million Indians without their compliance. Girl, my brain broke. I'm like, he said non-compliance, okay? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm over here breaking my back energy, like, down with the man, right? And he says, no, we're not doing that. We're just not gonna play. We're not gonna play your reindeer games. So this is the thing I'm thinking through, sis, and let me know what your thoughts are, all right? What I'm thinking through is this. If we look at social change that's been effective, okay, it wasn't because of the fighting. Because each time you fight, they fight back. And it escalates. You go from a push to a shove, from a shove to a punch. Then you go from a punch to a knife fight. Then from a knife fight to a gunfight. Then from a gunfight to a gang fight. It just go. It's like the monster using the Capulets. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything escalates when you fight. Have you ever noticed when you fight somebody, someone has to get the last word in? Normally it's you, if you're anything like me. Maybe not, but I know myself, okay? And then you go find your evidence, you come back, you throw it on the table like bam, like a spade, like booyaka, bam. And then they come back later, booyaka, bam, bam. Like it doesn't stop. And that's how we end up divorced. That's how we end up in war. That's how we end up in fights. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm open, I'm looking, I'm seeking, I'm tired of fighting, I'm tired of being ineffective. I'm out to emancipate emotionally and economically Black women. Because I say when Black women heal, we heal the world. That is where I stand on the matter. I'm here for it all day. All right? So I'm like, okay, Jesus, show me this. Let me understand. If you look at Gandhi and his approach, he stood. And his actions were a match for his stand. He didn't get ugly. He didn't try to fight fire with fire. Because when you do that, everything burns down. He just helped the Indian people know that they were going to be non-compliant. And if you look at come on, Jesus, let me say it. If you look at the Montgomery Boycott, the same principles applied. They stopped being compliant. Sis, hear my word when I say this. And I'm not going to talk you long, but I want you to hear my word on this. What if we, as Black women, stop being compliant with our money? The Montgomery boycott lasted a little bit over a year. 75% of the people taking buses were Black people. When those Black people stopped taking those riding the buses, the city practically closed down because they needed our compliance in order to oppress us. Do you see what I'm saying? And we comply with our money. Because we live in a capitalistic society, the only thing that moves things here is capitalism. So I'm like, okay, God, if you and I, shoulder to shoulder, stood for Black women having our own, being financially independent, being financially free, okay? And being like educated consumers. And we actually started to move our money from organizations, services, institutions that don't honor us as an act of non-compliance, as an act of protest. We could get more done than if we're if we're just revealing the pain. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying don't reveal the pain. I'm just looking at what can I do? The thing that I'm good at two things, really. I'm good at healing and I'm good at money. I'm not good at cooking. I suck at details. I can't spell. I'm a hot mess on a good day. That's real talk. But what I can do, what I'm a savage at, is monetizing the bejesus out of anything that cannot be touched. Okay? So if I put my attention on, okay, if I empower Black women to have their own money, to support other Black women in their businesses and in their lives, and if I get enough Black women who really took on my digital platform and made it go viral, and we had a safe space where we could talk, where we could network, where we could share, where we can heal, we're now redirecting, we're being non-compliant to the structures that don't allow us to even have free speech without shutting us down. I'm literally being silenced on Facebook because they don't like what I'm saying. They won't let me post. And to be fair, it's their platform. They have that right. I can't be mad at them for that. But what I can say is, what if, theoretically speaking, Black women, all Black women content creators stop posting on Facebook? All Black women businesses stop going to Facebook? What if we just had enough? What if we had 25% of Black women who engage on Instagram to stop posting? They would pay attention to that. You see what I'm saying? There's power in numbers. And if we start participating, if we started to honor our buying power, our spending power, our content power, and we stopped complaining to them about it, but we started to move it off of their platforms onto our own, that would be a change. That would be a transformation. That would be a new world. And that is what I'm interested in. That is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in you being free, sis. I'm interested in literally creating wealth generationally in the next 5 years through content and technology. Because we can. Our ancestors couldn't do that, but we can. We really can. And if we don't take it on and stand for it, I don't want to fight them no more. I want to stand for us. That is the distinction. I don't want to fight them no more. I want to stand for us. Because fighting that machine is exhausting. And because it's their platforms, they can cut it off or cut it on anytime they want. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but we as the consumers, we as the audience, we have as much power, if not more, by virtue of us watching, by virtue of us being compliant. I wonder, sis, how compliant are you in your own oppression, in your relationships, with your children, with your boo, at work, in your business? I'm looking for myself. One of the things I had to deal with my gentleman caller is that he's very alpha, very alpha. Imagine that. Okay, God bless him. It's great. And so he's a very alpha dude, and I'm outspoken and anointed, and I don't back down. So, and he's not mean. He speaks to me in request. He never speaks in a demand, because a demand will only make me mad. And I'm like, no, go hell and die. So, but we had a rough weekend not too long ago, and my experience of him was that he didn't care about me. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not with him for him to care about me. I'm with him because I love him and he loves me. So if I want to be cared for, I'm accountable for my own well-being. But if I make that his responsibility, then he's wrong 50 ways to Sunday. Whereas it's my responsibility to take care of my well-being, specifically given my special needs, right? And so part of what I'm being with is, how can I stand for Black women being emancipated economically and emotionally if I can't stand for myself in my relationship? How can I stand for myself with someone who really has a genuine love and affinity for me and not fight him? I hope you can hear the difference. I know I'm not fighting him. I'm not fighting anybody anymore. I give that up. I give that back to God. Satan, you're a liar. I'm not fighting no more. The battle's not mine. The battle's God's. I'm not fighting no more. Okay? I am standing for myself and what I'm using my life for. I'm a stand now. Going forward until God takes me from this earth, I am standing for what I'm about. I'm not fighting anymore. There's a different energetic about it. And even when it comes to my personal relationships, I have to stand for myself. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean malicious. It just means, no, I'm not going to do that. No, we're not doing that. Yes, you can come over. No, you cannot come over. No, I'm going to bed by 10. No, I'm not getting up early. Yes, I'm going to call you. No, you can't call me now. No, I need time this weekend. Like, that's me. That's me standing for myself without any attack, without any invalidation or make wrong or throwing something from the past in his face. I'm not doing that. I did that in my previous relationships and it got me nothing. I'm trying new tactics, new strategies, new paradigms, because I'm committed to really living the life that God spared me to live. Okay? And that takes me being willing to heal, to transform, to grow, to get trained, to try new things, to create clear boundaries, to be willing to walk away, and also being willing to stay. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to start. I'm going to start marketing again. I am. I've been protesting since George Floyd, and I'm going to start taking on private clients again. I am. I'm going to take on 5 private clients, and I'm going to start focusing on, again, I'm going to focus on money, because you can't really be free if you don't have your own money, in my opinion. Okay? That's just my stand on the matter. I think that every woman should be a millionaire. I don't care what you think. I think you should be it. If you are a Black woman in business, this is not a problem. Okay? And I'm going to keep creating my content platform. I'm going to keep creating it. I'm not done. And I think that the more they shut me down, the more that's God saying, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. Jump in, I'm jumping on it, All right, so that made me happy. That was for me, not for you. So I'm just that this gives me more. That gives me more of a commitment to, like, okay, Venus, you need a platform where you won't get censored, where you won't be shut down, and don't get mad. Build your own. And that's what our ancestors did. They built their own. Do you know what they had to organize to do bus boycott for a year and some change? That means they had to get carpools. The cab riders only charged a dime for all the Black passengers so we can get back and forth to work. They had to walk to work for over a year. They did not surrender that. And because they stood, they did not fight. They stood for the right to ride the bus in any location. It changed. I don't think we're standing anymore, sis. I think we're fighting. And I think that we're ineffective. I know I have been ineffective. And I'm not suggesting I haven't done some good stuff. That's not what I'm out to communicate. But what I'm committed to is your freedom. I'm committed to your economic and emotional independence. And in order to do that, I need to stand for and with you, not fight battles that aren't mine to fight. I can't do nothing with the war in Afghanistan. And I know we've pulled the troops out, blah, blah, blah. I can't do anything about national disasters. I can go, help clean up. But what I really can do is I can empower you. I can empower your power. You see what I'm saying? I can educate you. I can leverage you. I can show you how to go from good to great financially. I can do that. So I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm going to take private clients, and I just haven't really wanted to since George was murdered. It hasn't been on my heart. But now I'm thinking, okay, we don't know what the pandemic is going to do. We don't know what's going to happen with COVID. The world is never going to go back to what it was 2 years ago, right? So, either get busy living or get busy dying. And I'm choosing to live. I'm choosing that. And I'm always, always, always choosing you. I love you, sis. I love you so much. You are God wrapped in flesh. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the head and not the tail. You are the righteousness of God. You're everything right about being alive. And all that's missing is a little bit of guidance and some tools. That's it. That's it. And you'll soar. I've discovered that when a Black woman is nurtured and fed, she soars. You nurture me. You feed me. I soar because you love me. I don't do it on my own. Okay? So that's how I feel. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Okay, let me know. Like, if you're fed by this word, it's like giving word, it's like affirming word. Please pay it forward. Sharing is an act of love. No one in these social media streets, on these podcast streets, are talking what I'm talking. They're talking other things, but they're not talking about this. Okay? So my request is that you partner with me and get the word out. Like I mentioned a little earlier, clearly me and Malcolm X got something in common, because they like, nah, son, we're going to have to shut that down. And so I need you to partner with me and sharing my word so that we can be fed. I didn't even curse today, so y'all don't have to worry about that. Ooh la la, la la ooh. Be impressed, because who I am is the possibility of loving leadership, support, and empowering partnership. I'm making myself receptive. I'm opening up my heart and space to receive support, guidance, investors, equity partners. I'm opening the floodgates. I'm not doing it alone anymore. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm standing for something, and my request that you stand with me. You stand with me, not fight for me, but stand with me. I think we can move so much more with so much ease if we're standing together. Now I couldn't do this broadcast live, and maybe that's even better. Maybe that's God's way of saying, nope, we don't need that platform. That we don't need it that way. Maybe it's a matter of me now. Maybe I'm supposed to do my broadcasts, in private. You see what I'm saying? And then upload the replay. Maybe. And I trust God, so I'm not resisting it. In the past, I would have been fire mad. Now I'm just tickled because I'm like, okay, God, clearly there's something I'm saying that matters, that's important. And it's now time for me to reach out and create community to make sure my word reaches the world. Okay, and so I need to get a publicist. I need a publicist. I need support with Kickstarter campaigns. I need a lot of support to build this platform in the way that really will make a difference instead of doing it by myself. I think that's what I mean by fighting. I've been so busy fighting. I never I had my hands in fists. You know what I'm saying? Fighting. I didn't have my hands open requesting support. I'm now requesting support. I need you, sis. Together we can do anything. And we have the buying power to do everything. Okay? So, so that's all I got. This is Dr. B. This is your Hot Mess Millionaire. I love you. And the brothers who love us, thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me and covering me. Allies, thank you for riding so hard in the paint for me. Thank you so much. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. I love you, fam. I love you, allies. Thank you so very, very much. Not everybody gets to have the kind of love and support that I have. I have a tribe. You're my truth tellers. And I thank God that you allow me to lead. I thank God that you allow me to pour into you, that you take the time to listen to my word, that you share it, and that you engage with it. And thank you for leaving beautiful reviews. Oh my goodness, I got this beautiful review on my Hot Mess Millionaire podcast. I'm like, whoa, wow, thanks. It's just really lovely. And for downloading my podcast, it's just that you're very generous with me. And I just want to tell you I thank you and I love you. Thank you for encouraging me and empowering me and staying with me through all my iterations, my ups and my downs, and never invalidating my experience or my truth. So, thank you. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. This is a very kumbaya. Yeah. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm clowning now. This is what happens when you leave me alone for too long. Okay, I'm going to stop now. This is Dr. B. This is your Hot Mess Millionaire. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. I love you, fam. I love you, allies. Please, if you're fed by this word, please share it. And thank you for loving me. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye for now.